I grew my Skool community to over 2.1K in monthly recurring revenue in just 60 days. And in this video, I want to talk to you guys about the 5 things I wish I knew before I started my Skool community. And the first thing is that action beats perfection. If you wait until everything's perfect, you'll never get started. And we hear this time and time again, but it's absolutely true. How many times have you started working on something and worked your very best to make it as perfect as possible, and just as you're reaching that perfection, you find this new thing that all of a sudden needs more attention, and before you know it, you're in a never-ending cycle of nothing getting done and nothing getting launched. So to solve this, you need to take action. Just be okay with things being just good enough. Just because it's good enough at the start doesn't mean that over time you don't develop it into something that's bigger and better. Now, if you do this and you take action, you'll be so surprised as to how far you get. Because the thing that you don't understand is that the second that you take that first step and you take action, everything else will start falling into place before your eyes. And when a problem arises, you'll be pressured into solving it a lot faster because you've already taken action, you already have everything else on the line, and so your brain starts solving it a lot faster. Now, what this means when you're starting a Skool community is that you should not by any means start by creating a course and trying your very best to complete it and make it perfect. Just release the bare minimum that you need to make your community super valuable, and odds are that you can replace, at least at the start, those video courses with one-on-one calls with people. And what that will allow you to do is to get as much feedback as possible from your market and see if it's something that's worth pursuing. If it is, then bit by bit, you start developing it and you start putting out video courses to improve your offer. Now, if you have already started your community and you're growing it, well, then still action beats perfection. Just get a new course out, see what your clients and what your members think, and then take that feedback and start improving it as you go. Now, this takes me on to the second point, which is take your members on your journey. Now, inherently, humans love stories, and especially those that are from nothing to something. Think about series. The reason people love series and they binge watch series is because you go from the very start of not knowing anything about the characters to all of a sudden you feel like you're part of that series and you feel like your friends are the main characters of that series. So look at your community in the same way. So get your members involved not only in the decision-making process of your community, but in also building your community into what they want. Now, I'll touch upon this in the last point in this video, so stick around for that. However, if you take these things into consideration and you apply them, people will start looking at your community in different eyes. Now, the third thing that I wish I knew before starting my Skool community is that you need to sell yourself just as much, if not more, than you sell your offer. Now, one thing that I started recently noticing is that as I got on more calls with people, and as my exposure within Skool and on social media increased, more and more people not only loved the offer that I had, but they also wanted to jump inside of the community because of me. Because I'm unique, no one is like me, no one started exactly where I started, no one took the exact same path that I took, and no one is like me. So be it because I'm kind or helpful or valuable or whatever, people started joining for me. And on top of that, people also stick around for you. So stop trying to be someone that you're not. Just be authentic, be yourself, and show that off as much as possible, because odds are that people will be able to relate a lot better to you, will resonate a lot better to you, and it will make it a lot easier for them to join your community and to stick around for a lot longer. Now, on top of this, the fourth thing that I wish I knew is that you need to focus on becoming the most valuable person. And we hear it time and time again, for example, from Alex Hormozi. Give out all of the information and sell the implementation. And it's true, but how many of you actually do this? Maybe some of you don't do it because it just doesn't make sense to you, or some of you don't do it because, like me at the start, you are afraid that if you give so much information up front, people won't think like they need to pay you or join any of your offers to learn more. But this couldn't be further from the truth. Why? Well, because let me tell you, there's always something more that you can provide and that you can monetize. No matter how much information you give, there will always be those that are too lazy to implement it, that still do not understand it, that are scared of trying by themselves and making a mistake, or that are missing a key piece to the puzzle to make it all work. So you can use this to your advantage. By giving out all of this information for absolutely free, people will let their guard down and be a lot more open to listening to you. And what happens? People start learning more about how you are, how experienced you are, how good you are, how many people you've helped, and bit by bit, they start trusting you more and lowering their guard. And at this point, whenever the time comes when they need help about something that you've talked about, who are they going to go to? You. So stop being afraid of giving out all the information for free and not having people pay you, and just do it. I used to be in your position. I know it's quite a big step, but trust me, you will be able to make more money than you can ever think of. And before I forget, for those of you that, like me, thought that when you gave out all of this information, you would reduce the number of people that you can sell to, that is completely wrong. What I've noticed is that there's more people in the whole world that need your help than you will ever be able to help. So just do it, because the people that will then come to you will trust you a lot more, will know you a lot better, and will be a lot more open to giving you money to get the help that they want. Now, the last thing that I wish I knew, which I hinted at a few minutes ago, is that you guys need to focus on community. This is what's going to differentiate a normal community from an amazing community. Why? Because at the end of the day, if you run out, be it of course material to provide to your members, or the calls that you have are just repeating themselves and people aren't learning anything new, the community is the only thing that's going to glue everyone together and to make them stick around. Now, if you play your cards correctly and you focus on community, not only will you get a huge increase in retention, but you'll see that your community will start gaining a life of its own. No longer will it be dependent on you to post daily or to create engagement for it to flourish. It'll just do it by itself, because members in there are so connected to each other and enjoy being there so much that they just go out of their way to make posts, to comment under other people's posts, and to just have a good time. And before you know it, just as it's starting to happen with me, members are starting to talk about the community, not only inside of your community, but also outside, bringing more people in. Once they're in, the members also get out of their way to answer and help other people without me doing a single thing. I actually got on a call yesterday where one prospect asked me if someone inside of my community was in my team because of how well they spoke about my community and because of how much they actually helped them solve their issues. Now, if you want to learn how I got to $981 in monthly recurring revenue in just 30 days with my community, go ahead and watch this video here. Or if you want to learn how you can skyrocket your Skool community conversion, then watch this video here, because I break down step by step how I got my conversion rate to 36%.